I just wanted to make a quick video calling out the bullshit, fake outrage over this Rings of Power TV show and how it's not faithful to the source material. As if all of you bitching about it actually give a shit. Okay? Because one, you didn't know it wasn't faithful to the source material, and two, you don't give a shit. Okay? You want to know how I know you don't give a shit on how a TV show isn't faithful to the source material? Is because the MCU movies have been doing the exact same thing for the last 15 or so years, and none of you gave a shit. None of you cared how it wasn't faithful to the source material. Why? Because one, you didn't know, and two, you didn't care. Okay? Take most of the Guardians of the Galaxy, okay, characters. Gamora isn't close to her source material in the comic books. Where was your fake outrage? You didn't have any. Why? Because you didn't know and you didn't care. Same thing with Drax the Destroyer. It wasn't faithful to the source material. You didn't have any outrage. Why not? You didn't know, you didn't care. Same thing with Mantis. She isn't even close to the source material in the comic books. Where was your outrage how it wasn't faithful to the source material? None. Why? Because you didn't know, and two, you didn't care. Ego. This is Ego in the comics. Okay? This is Ego in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Not even in the fucking same ballpark. Where was your pretend fake outrage over how the MCU movies aren't faithful to the source material? You didn't have any. Why? Because you didn't know and you didn't care. And I'm going to constantly emphasize those two things because that is the key aspect on how you guys are full of shit over your bullshit fake outrage over the Rings of Power. Oh yeah, and speaking of Ego, okay, in the MCU is a Celestial. Except in the Eternals movie, they explain what Celestials are, and the Celestials in the Eternals movie isn't the same thing as what Ego is. So how does that work? So not only were the MCUs not even faithful to the source material, they're not even faithful to their own goddamn lore. You literally have the Eternals invalidating the fact that Ego is a Celestial. Where's all your outrage videos over that? There are none. Why? Because one, you actually didn't even remember, and two, you don't care. Hela, in the comics, the source material, Hela is the daughter of Loki and ruler of Hell. Was she that in the movies? Not even close. Not even close. Where was your outrage how the MCU movies weren't faithful to their source material? You didn't have any. Why? Because you didn't know and you didn't care. Ultron's origin in the comic books, Ultron's origin was created by Dr. Hank Pym to protect the Avengers Mansion and just goes haywire. What's it in the movie? In the movie, he's somehow an amalgamation of Jarvis and Infinity Stone. Not even close to the source material. Where was all your outrage over how Ultron wasn't faithful to its source material? There was none. You want to know why? Because one, you didn't know, and two, you didn't care. Okay? The Witcher TV series. Okay? Now, I never actually read the books, but when this TV show came out, I was curious how faithful it was to the books. And there are these 3 YouTubers who are just huge Witcher fanboys who have read the books and all the short stories, and they've made videos comparing how faithful the games were to the books, and made videos comparing how faithful the TV show was to the books. And guess what? The books aren't that faithful, the TV show wasn't faithful to the books that they were based off of, the source material? Where was all your outrage videos over how the Witcher TV show wasn't faithful to its source material? You didn't have any. Why? Because one, you didn't know, and two, you didn't care. Hell, the Wheel of Time TV show, it's not faithful to its source material. Where's all your outrage videos over that? But for some reason, you got your panties in a twist over the Rings of Power? Bullshit. I'm calling out your bullshit. Okay? Like, for some reason, okay, a black female dwarf without a beard is suddenly desecrating the source material. Again, ego from the comics, ego from the MCU movie. Apparently, that's okay. That you don't have a problem with. That level of desecration and alteration from the source material, that you don't have a problem with. But a black female dwarf without a beard, that's unacceptable? Bullshit. Okay? Then you got Galadriel, okay, wearing armor. Okay, first of all, the Rings of Power take place 1,700 years in the past. It's not like any of you knew that. And for some reason, Galadriel, 1,700 years in the past, wearing armor is somehow a problem. Based off of what? It's not like any of you guys have read the Similarium. It's not like any of you guys have read the Unfinished Tales to even know whether or not Galadriel wearing armor is even an issue. And you are literally bitching about Galadriel wearing armor, and you don't even have a basis behind why you're bitching about why Galadriel is wearing armor. That's how full of shit your outrage is. Why can't Galadriel, 1,700 years in the past, have been wearing armor? We don't even know what the context is, because guess what? You haven't even seen an episode yet to even know what the context is. But why should that matter to you bullshit artists? Okay? It's not like the audience you're pandering to gives a shit any less than you do. Okay, and here's the other reason I wanted to make this video. Because of the absolute fucking bullshit hypocrisy of you motherfuckers. Okay? Because you'll make videos, okay, bitching about how all these people are fake pretending to like the show, fake pretending to care about the show, while at the same time you fucking hypocritical bullshit artists are pretending to actually be outraged. You are literally being just as full of shit as the people you're bitching about. So either you are that fucking stupid and ignorant that you don't even realize how goddamn hypocritical you are, or two, you do know that you're full of shit, but you don't care because you're a pandering motherfucker. So which is it? Are you fucking stupid, or are you fucking bullshit, or are you a fucking pandering motherfucker? Which one is it? Okay? Now, for those of you who are actual fans of The Lord of the Rings, and you actually do care about how it might be altering deviant to the original source material, same thing goes to you, because you didn't give a shit when Marvel did it with their characters. You didn't give a shit when any other TV show did it. Don't suddenly give me this bullshit outrage that it suddenly matters because when it happens to Tolkien. You don't get off. You don't get off either. Okay? Those of you who actually give a shit, okay? You didn't give a shit when Marvel did it. You didn't give a shit when Netflix did it. So don't give me this fake bullshit that suddenly you care when they did it with Tolkien. Okay? Jesus Christ. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay? When the show comes out, guaranteed I'm going to be tearing it apart. But not because it isn't faithful to the source material, even though it's based off of an original storyline and original characters that aren't even based off of the original the story, which we're not going to actually talk about because that actually invalidates any of your bullshit arguments anyway, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm going to tear it apart the same way I tore apart The Mandalorian, the MCU TV shows, because of the bullshit hack writing. Okay? Not because it isn't faithful to its source material, which again, none of you give a shit about every other time it happened. Anyway, rant over. I'm done. I'm good. It's just that somebody has to point out the absolute bullshit of these fake outrage videos, and it might as well be me because I'm here for you. I do this for you. It's just the kind of guy I am. Anyway, I'm sure there's other stuff I could, call out, but I'm good. I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya.